a group dedicated to watching the red tails at 185 Alewife Brook Parkway, met this summer. At this gathering, I interviewed Ellen Mass of the Friends of Alewife Reservation on a topic vital to all life in this area.
I'm Ellen Mass, the Friends of Alewife Reservation, and my office was across from the nest of Buzz and Ruby at 186 Alewife Brook Parkway, and they were at 185. So we saw them from the onset and watched them throughout their whole development, including the fledging and the searching, and we were there every day or every other day to observe as well, because we realized that the hawks, the birds and animals that are from that area, whether it's Fresh Pond or Alewife, are very dependent on the open space. And so our organization tries to preserve, steward, and conserve the open space. Alewife has 130 acres. I don't know the acreage of Fresh Pond, but we're thrilled to see, the kind of life that Buzz and Ruby brought into the area. But we also realize that we have to kind of make sure that they have a place to hunt, because what they hunt are rodents and maybe some small birds, but primarily rodents, and they are in that forest. So the forest is in jeopardy, and we have to struggle very hard to bring people's attention to habitat as well as the creatures themselves. And I'm so glad this group is so interested and has been coming to meetings about it. And we're going to have a big fundraiser on the 22nd to take a bike ride completely around it that goes back to Alewife, where the birds were originally nesting. And I just think it's wonderful that this group has stayed together, because they realize the importance of birds, hawks, raptors, and what their presence among us means. It's very exciting. And it's a wonderful group of people. Ernie's website has been just remarkable in bringing attention to Lucky Larry and Lucy's life, and the parents of these beautiful birds.
Later, I met with Ellen at the office of the Friends of Alewife Reservation at 186 Alewife Brook Parkway in Cambridge. There, Ellen detailed the beauty of the reservation, the importance to the communities surrounding it, and the challenges it faces with the pending construction.
Ellen, tell us about what your organization does, and the any imminent issues that are going on right now that the viewers really should know about.
Well, I appreciate your asking. Let me first answer the first part of the question, which is, what do we do? Well, we not only educate with tours, we have professional wildlife assessors that take people out on a Saturday morning. I'll give an example of Peter Alden, whom you and I know at the Audubon Society, and he took out our young people for years. People of all generations go out and they see an incredible variety of birds. We have people don't believe when we tell them the type of mammals we have there.
Really?
And we have otter, we have two types of fox, gray and red.
Wow.
We've got coyote, lots of coyotes.
Oh my goodness.
And lots of deer.
Wonderful.
The deer, we're not sure exactly where they come in from, but they're reproducing there. You're talking, Ernie, about 130 acres of urban wild. It is huge habitat area for birds, including hawks, and we've got falcons that use the area for hunting, and it really is a great treasure. It's a treasure by accident, because nobody wanted to. It's kind of a no man's land between the city and the suburbs,
Right.
and it keeps people separated, and a lot of people like that, and it's been to the advantage of the animals and the birds, and also for flooding purposes. As I said, it absorbs the storm water and keeps little pond neighbors along Oliver Road and that area in Winbrook neighborhood. It keeps them protected.
But let me ask you something now. What is the biggest threat to this area right now, and what do you feel needs to be done about it?
Well, unfortunately, when you have such dense urban demography, populations everywhere in Arlington, Belmont, Somerville, Cambridge. Developers want to develop around anything that's attractive, open space, rivers, ponds, lots of trees. And it is the last vestige of open space in Cambridge. So it is extremely valuable.
Mhm.
And it is almost impossible to keep developers off. We are doing it because it's public land. A big Pennsylvania developer bought up all of the old Arthur D. Little property, and then he held on to it for a while and sold it, but kept the little woodlands,
Mhm.
what we call the silver maple forest. Do you mind if I turn around and just point to
Oh,
the
sure.
trees here? You can see what the type of beauty here of a forested area. It's about 15 acres of real silver maple forest, according to a very well-known, recommended Yale forester, Charles Katuska. It is unique in the Boston area, and according to Peter Alden of Audubon, it's also unique. There's nothing like this silver maple forest. So so the woodlands became private property. But the town of Belmont and Arlington in 2004, they both voted as municipalities to preserve the uplands.
What kind of pressure can these local community organizations put on the powers to be to have an influence on this developer?
About close to $100,000 have been raised by people who really care about their homes. As I mean, the March rains really flooded this whole Winbrook neighborhood. And so they have raised an enormous amount of money just to keep it in the courts according to the wetlands regulations, the Wetlands Protection Act it's called.
Mhm.
And that has gone on. So the citizens of that town are doing a lot, and in Cambridge they're doing a lot with resolutions. The city council has made resolutions 3 or 4 times. Democratic City Committee has made resolutions. And the legislature has a bill in a second time trying to require it and asking the towns, if the state kicks in so much money, will your towns kick in some money? So those questions are going on. But in the meantime, the Department of Environmental Protection is, after 4 days of hearings with them and lots of money, of taxpayers' money, they turned us down. They leaned in front of the developer. So that was pretty devastating to us, but because it's such a graphic example of a mistake, let's call it a mistake in the best word, we're anxious for people to actually talk about it and be a lot more present about the need for their open spaces and this wonderful area around these 3 towns. We want to see people come to an important meeting about this.
This developer has 15 acres of otherwise pristine land that's part of this whole watershed. And when he starts developing that, it's going to have its effects on the watershed?
On the whole entire watershed. And our professionals have estimated zinc and metal, a lot of metal runoff, and stormwater runoff, because he's got to cut down the trees, so you have a lot more runoff into the pond, which can create it'll create an elevation. On the 15 acres have some marshes and wetlands that he probably can't build on just because it's not feasible. But it's 7 acres he wants to put 300 units.
Is this Cambridge?
5-story buildings that will block any kind of corridors for wildlife. It will really totally displace the tremendous amount of rich wildlife that's there. And I'm talking about these big mammals.
Putting this issue aside,
Yeah.
what do you need in terms of funding? What are the Friends of the Alewife Reservation looking for funding, and what are some of the projects that you do have control over?
This will be our 4th annual summer ecology camp for our inner city kids. the city of Cambridge is doing a bang-up job of making a stormwater basin there that will take some of the stormwater for Cambridge, bring it down to the reservation, and recharge the river, which is flat and needs the hydrology. So there's a lot of charging, and they're planning to make a huge restored wetland area for wildlife. And we want to train the teachers to teach the curriculum about, for the kids, why infrastructure needs to be connected to environmental improvement. You don't just dig up for pipes, but you also find ways to improve the environment as you're doing your city infrastructure. And we want to show that that's going to be done here in this case. We're pretty excited about bringing the stormwater down there. But we have needs for basics, especially in the education. We have staff needs. And we will go on with this case. And this case is going to require help, and some of the help is events.
Check out the text beneath this video to find out all the major events that are coming up to help support this cause. Or you can call or log on to their website. Please help the Friends of Alewife Reservation preserve this vital forest land and the wonderful creatures that abound in it.